Hi, guys. Good evening. So, I'm not going to mess around. I am just going to get right to it. So, over the weekend, um, a lot of drama popped off. At the time, I didn't get to see what was going on. Things have been busy and some other things that I'll address later. Um, anyway, I wasn't going to talk on Susan Georgia Peach or Texas Girl um, anymore because I really didn't feel like there was anything to say. But seeing how I was given, and not only myself, Angie, other people, especially if you go to Bombshell's channel, we're given a really difficult time and treated like trash because we've had our opinions about things, right? We couldn't have an opinion because when we did, you know, you decided you wanted to come for people, basically, all because we have an opinion. So I wrote down some things and I'm going to say how I feel. There may be some things people don't like. You know what? This is my opinion, and my opinion matters just like anybody else's does. Whether you like it or you don't. Texas Girl and Susan Georgia Peach. Okay. So, in these streams you had where you stated, it wasn't about Jenny Jen Jen, well, I'm going to call bullshit on that because even though you were trying to, what it seemed like to me, tiptoe around it, um, until it basically got to, where you put Jenny in the title and things like that. But look, you have no problem being outspoken about anybody else that has an opinion. Why didn't you just come straight out and say what you had to say? And that it did have to do with Jenny, okay? Because it absolutely did. You're saying you're getting emails, or the first one was, are you guys feeling the way that we've been feeling? And then it goes into, oh, well, we're getting emails about things. Lots of people that have channels get emails about things, period. Um, you know, but I feel like personally, you were having these feelings for a while now. All right. But there's some things that you talked about that frankly pissed me off. And a lot of it, you kept saying that it was your opinion. And then you got into um addiction and how you feel that somebody shouldn't be made fun of or brought down, basically. But yet you, both of you, had no fucking problem doing that shit to Bombshell, right? You had zero problems with trashing her and having all kinds of names about her, right? But now all of a sudden, your opinions, how you think and you feel about these situations, they matter because it's your guys' opinion. Nobody else's fucking matter. Just you guys, right? Isn't that what this was all about? So let's get into this. Texas Girl says we should be allowed to go on our channels and have an opinion. Our channels aren't dictated by you or anyone else. Okay. Well, I should be allowed to come onto my channel without anybody else dictating what I should or shouldn't be allowed to talk about. But you did that. hypocritical much? Because you definitely are. So I guess my question is this: why wasn't it allowed? Why wasn't I allowed to have an opinion? Or say Anji, because you kept our names always out there and in this, and it was always a problem because we had opinions about what was being done to Bombshell. And oh, hell no, that wasn't allowed. We were attacked for that, all because we had an opinion. But you say nobody's going to dictate because you have an opinion and you can do whatever and say whatever. But yet, I wasn't afforded that. Anji wasn't afforded that. Other people haven't been afforded that either. So I guess it's just you. And again, like I said in my other videos, it's just you and whoever you kick it with, whoever you think are your friends. Your guys' opinions are the only ones that matter, not nobody else. Yeah? Yeah, right. I don't fucking think so, okay? I'm going to have an opinion always, just like I do right now, about you being a hypocrite. But yet, once again, you called me a hypocrite, didn't you, Texas girl? Pretty sure you did. Next, you kept saying, when is enough enough? Well, guess what? I asked that same question when it came to Bombshell. When was enough going to be enough? But you didn't care. You have kept at Bombshell for well over what? What is it, almost 2 years now? The bottom line when it comes to this part for me, it just seems to be important to you when it's however you feel about somebody, however you feel about a situation, because you had a lot to say about the Michelle stuff, you know. And I'm going to get into that a little bit. I'm not going to go into that real long because again, we both know, you always talked about how long my videos are. So I'm really trying to keep this condensed, and I'm trying really hard because when this shit all happened and I found out about it, I'm going to be straight up. I was pretty fucking pissed off because of how you have treated other people. But now all of a sudden, since you have a fake change of heart, in my opinion, I feel like you guys did this shit for clicks and views. I truly feel that way because, there's some other things in here. You pay attention to people's money, you pay attention to people's views, but I'm going to get into that a little bit. But again, I do try to watch the time. So we're going to get into that though. So when is enough enough? You're talking about people's mental health. Specifically, you did a lot of talking about mental health and whatnot when it comes to Michelle, right? See, here's my problem. And you're going to hear me refer to this a lot because this is what I spoke up about. This is what was important to me about the shit that was being done to Bombshell. And yeah, I know there's a ton of people, that don't particularly care for Bombshell, but then there's a lot of people that do like Bombshell, right? So when I spoke up about this and about the bullying, the harassment, and the stalking, and I said, when's enough going to be enough? You didn't give a fuck about Bombshell's mental health. And you know what? I'm going to apologize right now for my mouth because I am. This shit, since I found out about it, has been bothering me a great deal. And my mouth, like I told you, I just don't got patience for this no more. I really don't, because I'm so tired of the double standards, people being hypocrites, but wanting to say other people are just because they have an opinion. So I am trying. I know I'm failing right now, but this shit, like, I can't tell you how much this pisses me off. And I'm just downright angry. I'm angry about this bullshit. Because when I'm not allowed it, or other people aren't allowed to have their opinions, and they're attacked for their opinions, but you're sitting there saying you're not going to be attacked for yours and blah, 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 blah. Like, do you know how fucking stupid you sound? Like, straight up, do you know how stupid you sound? Oh man, I can't. Everyone's mental health should be important, not just who you pick and choose who should be important and who shouldn't. Okay? That's not how it goes. But I see it seems to go that way for you because you seem to care about what happened with Michelle, okay? But you don't seem to take a good look at what you have done for what? I don't know, probably close to a year and a half, 2 years. I can't even keep track of what you've done to Bombshell, right? Or what you have said about other people. I mean, I guess you didn't care about their mental health because Bombshell stated a few times that I know of what all of this and what was being done to her. And of course, not just by you two, okay? But the toll it was taken on her. But she didn't let it break her, did she? No, she did not. Because she's a strong bitch. And I'm glad she is. I'm glad for the people out there, no matter who they are, if they have some strength behind them and they don't let somebody get them to that point, because it can very easily be done on social media. And that's a fact. But it's interesting to me because now all of a sudden you're saying this shit, but you have videos about Michelle on your channel. I mean, that's why I think I'm so irritated by this shit. So for months and months, in Bombshell's case, it's basically, I think, coming up on what, couple of years. You've done nothing but talk shit. Both of you have. Both of you. Not just one. Texas girl maybe a little bit more than Susan, but you both did it. And now all of a sudden, you have this change of heart, right? We all of a sudden out of nowhere, Bombshell should be able to get her views, her money. Well, I have a question. Why now? Why do you guys care now after you've done what you did to her? Because you didn't fucking care before. Now all of a sudden you guys care. And Susan Georgia Peach saying this is proper. These were the rules. Let's talk about that a little bit because I'm not fucking new here. All right. Yeah. Years ago, there were some people that wouldn't go live if another person they talked to, kicked it with, whatever, would be live at the time. But not everybody followed that. Actually, very few did. But there were some. But that's been like over and done with for a long time. So where that come out of, I don't know. But the both of you guys both restreamed her. So again, I'm trying to understand this. Why all of a sudden this is an issue now. To me, it almost seems like you just didn't want to be a part of Jenny Jen Jen and, all the channels that are surrounded with her. It almost sounds like you wanted to break free of that. So you guys are coming up with this stuff. That's truly where it seems to be for me, especially with saying about Bombshell getting her views and, the mental health and the addict shaming. I mean, there's so many things that I actually have wrote down, and I don't know if I'm going to get to it all. But I think you should probably have just come out and said, like, what your thoughts and feelings were instead of, like, being hypocrites. because the things you talked about are the things you guys did. Like, is this some kind of a joke? Like, for real? Because you both look like a damn joke, in my opinion. All right, so moving on to the next thing. Texas Girl says it's her opinion it's wrong to stream and trigger Michelle. Okay. Wasn't it wrong to stream and trigger Bombshell? I mean, let's just be clear, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say maybe Bombshell hasn't gotten pissed off or whatever from what I've watched her at times, but I'll tell you one thing, she gives that shit right back. Like I said, she's not a weak bitch and she won't just sit there and take it. And just like I can't imagine that Jenny Jen Jen or any of the other channels around her sat back and took this when this all took place either. Like, if you guys can't see that people see what's up and what you guys were doing, then I don't know what to say. And I've said it. I sit here as a neutral person, but I can call it out. I can call out the bullshit of what I see or what my opinion is. And instead of you guys doing this, you should have just, like, most people, they try to talk behind the scenes, if that's your friends anyway. So I don't know, maybe you guys don't understand what the word friend means or whatever, instead of bringing it to YouTube, because normally once you do that, it's usually for clicks and views, especially if you have a way to get a hold of somebody, right? But once again, shit pops off with you, Texas Girl, right? Because this isn't the first time this shit happened. This is the second time. So I'm sure there won't be a third, because I'd be shocked if JJJ and those channels, I wouldn't even think that Bombshell would take you back. Like, she's no fool either. So, yeah, I don't know. But I think that you had every intentions for some time about doing this shit. You should have just went to him and told him how you felt. But this was really about the clicks and views. I truly believe that. Now, could I be wrong? Of course I could be wrong. But when you start talking about people's views and their money, and I mean, I might as well just get into that right now. Why are you all the time watching how much money people get, how much money people make here? I mean, you seriously have a problem with that. Why? Why is that any of your business? I mean, I'm not monetized, so I'm not actually talking about myself here. But again, I did listen to this stuff, and that's what I got from it. I think this really comes down to, because I think there was some digs there at what used to be your friends, especially Jenny. And I don't know how many times you talked about the money Bombshell gets. I mean, you both were talking about, you know, how much support should a creator have, and about paying monthly bills, and, you know, about them getting a job and not sitting on their ass for 4 years. I mean, for real, I mean, you're keeping track of how long they had a job or didn't have a job. I mean, how are any of these things your business? First and foremost. Again, I said it before and I'll say it again. And I'm not like some type of hypocrite. So if I feel this way about Bombshell, her money is her business. And then I would obviously feel the same about Jenny Jen Jen or anybody else, whoever has a channel that's monetized, not just these people, but whatever somebody makes truly isn't anybody else's business. Yes, before you start saying, well, Stacey, you've got a video on your channel. I do, because there are some people, okay, that's all they come to YouTube for. All right. They don't actually put in any kind of time in their channel. They don't, you know, they're not entertaining. They just come and they want that money. That's it. That's all. Right. No. So they're different in my eyes. I mean, you can feel about it any way you choose to. But me personally, I feel there's a difference. There are people that put time into their channels and they should be compensated. A tip, whatever you want to call it. Okay. But if you bring entertainment to people, no matter what kind of entertainment that may be, there's people that come on and they just talk to their chats and they're monetized. Um, it's different things. But why you always watching people's money? You talk about that all the time. Is it because you're just not making enough? Like, I'm really trying to understand why you both did this. And that's the only thing that I can come up with is the fact that you are watching people's views and money because you talked about it for a while. So whether I'm repeating myself here a little bit or not, the facts are the facts. You are always watching that shit and you have shit to say about it. Like, this is crazy to me. Okay, moving on. Because again, I try to keep my videos not over 30 minutes, but this time it might go a little bit over. Sorry about that, but I try really hard to not do it too long, but hey, it is what it is. There's really a lot here that I wanted to talk about, but I'm trying to pick through it on what is actually important to me that I've talked about that I wasn't allowed to have an opinion about because, like I said, especially Texas Girl, not as much Susan Georgia Peach, but she's put her little digs in there, Remember, I'm Shit Shack. She likes to call me that. So, we're going to move on to another important part of this that I heard you talk about that bothers me a great deal because I've watched and I listened to how you both trashed Bombshell over and over. So for you to now give a shit about it, right? Act like you care about it. It bothers me a whole lot because I truly do see you as fake. I really truthfully do. So it was asked to you by somebody that came into the stream, Texas Girl and Susan Georgia Peach. How do you feel about the addict shaming? I don't think that you quite understood the comment, the question, shall I say, that was being asked. Because, I mean, I'm not that person. I can't say for 100, but I think that person was actually asking you, like, as in what they've seen you both do before. Okay? But you must have thought that they were talking about someone else. Again, I could be wrong on this point, on that particular part, but you made it out you don't like it. You both did that constantly to Bombshell. You had so many names for her. I mean, Texas Girl, I don't know. I can't remember if Susan did it, your sidekick. With the posting, I know Texas Girl did it with posting a baggie she thought she seen when Bombshell cams up. I mean, it was always about sniff, 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 corner, junkie, pillhead, things like that, constantly. But all of a sudden, you both care, and addict shaming shouldn't be done. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Again, did you guys listen back to these streams? Do you know how stupid you sound? Seriously. After what many people have watched you do? Now, what are you going to say? Oh, well, we only did it to Bombshell. It shouldn't be being done to nobody. If you're against that kind of shit, right? And you don't agree with it, then it wouldn't be okay for nobody to have that done. right? You don't get to pick and choose who gets addict shamed or whatever it is that you two like to do. Because you never had solid proof. You didn't get to see it for yourself in front of your face. You can say there's been noises, there's been something sitting there, but did you ever get to see her actually do anything in front of your face? I mean, I know there's a sleeping video and things like that that people have had things to say about, okay? And again, I'm not like you, Texas girl. Everybody's allowed their own opinion, but when you absolutely show that you are being a hypocrite with certain things here and acting like all of a sudden you care, that you give a shit, girl, you really need to fucking stop with your bullshit, because you do. You look so stupid, in my opinion. Like it. Oh my God. Okay. I had to take a second there because, boy, I'm telling you, this shit has had me pissed off. So, you made a comment that people need to take a stand, right? Either you support sobriety or you don't. Um, so all of a sudden you do, because what? You can't have it both ways, right? On here, calling people, or shall I say, bombshell, a druggie and everything else under the sun, right? But again, all of a sudden, you now care about addict shaming and sobriety and, whatever else. Who knows what'll come out of the woodwork next. Um, you say you don't want to encourage it, to enable it, to promote it. Um, Again, you went at Bombshell for what? Almost 2 years about this shit all the time. And you have the nerve to sit up on that panel and say this bullshit. You're a fake ass. You're so fake. You should be ashamed, like straight up, of what you have done and then what you're saying now and about who you're saying it about. You did a lot of talking about Michelle with all of this, right? But again, Michelle has done a lot of shit, right? Like a lot of bad shit to people. I think Michelle needs a lot of help. Does that take away what she has done to other people, what she has said to other people here? No, Michelle has some bad behaviors. Michelle has BPD. We know that. She's told people that for some time now. But I'm sorry. She has other behaviors that are just not, I don't excuse some of the things that she has done, what she has said to people. All I know is I really hope she gets some help. I'm not the kind of person that picks and chooses who I stand up for. I would never, ever go around doing to somebody like you have done, both of you have done to Bombshell, and then sit up on that panel, both of the streams you did, and say the things that you did. I don't addict shame people. I don't do those things. I don't think you should do those things, right? But that's my opinion. But then you're not going to hear me shaming somebody for 2 years and then sitting up there and saying, oh, it shouldn't be being done. If you wanted to talk about something with Bombshell or somebody else, and you actually cared, and you were a person that doesn't believe in shaming, you could have said other things, but you didn't. That's why, again, for I don't know, 20th time maybe at this point, you're fake. You both are fake. And everybody got to see that. You might have some people that bought your bullshit, but I definitely didn't. And I'm really glad, really, really glad that this was brought to my attention because I'm not subscribed to you. Okay? I don't watch you guys. But this time, this past weekend, when I did find out about it, it was worth giving it a listen. So, before I go here, because I went over my 30 minutes. Oh my God. Good question. When is enough enough? Texas Girl and Susan Georgia Peach. And to others out there, you know, I mean, all of a sudden, like I said, 2 years, and now all of a sudden it's coming up. When's enough enough? But only for who you believe that question should be asked for. Nobody deserves to be treated the way that Bombshell's been treated. As far as Michelle goes, again, Michelle's brought a lot of things on herself. There was a time that I did feel bad for her at the very, very, very beginning of when MGL, meaning Marissa, talked about her. But that was a very long time ago. The only thing at this point, I hope the woman can get some help. But for either of you two to be sitting up there doing what you did, again, you're allowed to have your opinions, but you both sound like hypocrites, hypocritical, whatever you want to say. But you sound so fake. And in my opinion, you did nothing but trash and go after Bombshell. And now all of a sudden you give a shit about her getting her views for 24 hours, that JJJ and others shouldn't be streaming her. And I can't believe what I heard. I can't. I laughed, but the more that I thought about it, I just started getting more and more pissed off. So I knew at this point I needed to get this video done because I think as more time went on without me saying anything, it was just going to get worse for me. Because when I had an opinion and other people had an opinion about what you were saying, what you were doing to Bombshell, the both of you, it didn't matter. But now all of a sudden, your opinions and how you think and feel are supposed to matter. You're a fucking joke. All right? And I'm sure I'm not the only one who sees you that way. I'm sorry if this shit's been all over the place. I'm just pissed off. There's no other way for me to say it. And I'm not going to go any further. Other things I have wrote down, but this is some bullshit. And if you think your opinion should matter, then maybe instead of talking shit and coming at other people like you did Angie and I for sure, then maybe our opinion should have mattered too. It's not one-sided, Texas girl. You're a very condescending person. And frankly, you're just not very fucking nice. So, instead of coming at other people when they have opinions, maybe you'll shut up now. Or maybe you won't. But what you guys both did to Bombshell and then all of a sudden you give a damn, I can't. All right? I can't. You're fake. You both are fake, in my opinion. That's it. I hope everyone has a good night, and I'll talk to you later.